Hi everyone, welcome back again. A new tutorial, simply oil painting. And in this week's tutorial, I'm going to be painting a nice moonlight scene. It was requested by one of you guys, moonlight on the ocean. So I'm going to do that this week for you. Unfortunately, I'm in my kitchen again because there are some machines digging the garden next door. Now, I'll turn the camera around and show you. I have my studio there. And the guys are digging up inside there with the machine and a Kango hammer and all sorts of things. So I'll open my window now, guys, and show you the noise, and you can listen yourself to the noise. You hear that? Isn't that shocking? So unfortunately I can't go into my studio, it's just too noisy. I'm going to try it in the kitchen here again. So look, I'm going to swing the camera around there and show you my setup and what we're going to do. Okay, so this is my little easel here, and I'm going to show you the palette. Now we've only a few colours in this, okay? Realistically we could paint this scene with just 4 colours, and that's including white. But I've added just 1 or 2 there, I might use them as I go along, just a little bit here and there. But primarily we're going to be using titanium white, burnt umber, little bit of lamp black, and some phthalo blue. Now phthalo blue may be a little bit of cobalt, but in general that's they're the only colours we're going to need, and perhaps a touch of Naples yellow just for the moonlight. But that's it, just a few colours really. We're going to use this canvas today, guys, a nice wide canvas again. I love using these canvases because they really draw the eye in, don't they? Well, I find they do anyway. So I have some brushes, and again some turpentine with a touch of linseed oil. You don't really have to have linseed oil in it, to be honest. You can just use the turpentine on its own, it's absolutely fine. And a selection of different brushes as usual, okay? And this jar now is these are probably the brushes I will use for every single painting. I might chop and change from time to time, but mostly I would use these 2 and a pointy one. Perhaps a slightly smaller one then for bushes and things like that. But they're the only brushes I use. Now this is the scene here. I don't know if you can see it properly, but I'll put it up on your screen. And you can see lovely moonlight. I'm not going to copy this exactly. I'm going to change it just a little bit. I might put some waves or something like that just along the foreground. Perhaps 1 or 2 rocks popping up. We'll see as we go. But it's just a tutorial anyway, guys, just to show you I'm painting moonlight on an ocean and the way the light catches the water. So that's the plan for today. I hope you like it. And once again, thank you all for your brilliant comments. I've had loads of lovely compliments and comments, and some suggestions even. That's great, I love that. So I will try and get through as many requests as I can. I know one of you guys asked me to show you how to paint grass close up and getting further away. So that's something I will do again. Perhaps today I might even do it in the afternoon and post it maybe tomorrow. So that's another thing. So let's have a bit of fun. Once again, thanks to everyone for supporting me on Patreon. It's a really big help, and I'm hopeful in a couple of months I can get a decent camera, guys, and try and get a really good picture quality on these paintings, because they're really being let down, I think, with the quality of the picture. The colours are not showing through as they should. That's unfortunate, but look, I'm only using my smartphone, so we just have to make do, don't we, guys? So let me mount this up here and we'll start this painting. This will be a fun one, okay? Nice bright moon up in the sky with some little clouds flicking along just underneath. So let's crack on. Let's have a bit of fun with this. So here we are, guys. This is the canvas. I put a little bit of masking tape just along for the horizon line because I want to get a nice straight horizon line on this. So masking tape, the best thing ever. Now my canvas is at a slight an angle here. I can see that. That's because the phone is not directly in front of the canvas. It's just at a slight angle, okay? So it's not perfect. I know it might be slightly annoying trying to watch me paint when it's at an angle like this. I do apologise, but you know, I don't have fancy stands and fancy kind of jigs and stuff like that for my camera, so unfortunately this will have to suffice. Okay, I'm going to start with a nice dark blue across the top, alright? And I'm going to take my big green brush, and I'm going to keep this simple, nice and simple now for you guys. Big green brush, okay, nice soft green brush, and I'm going to dip into, now I was going to show you the palette at the same time, but you will not see the painting very well. So look, I just zoomed in on the painting just for you today, and I'll explain the colours as I'm going along anyway. So I'm dipping my brush now into my turpentine and giving it a quick dab on the tissue, and I'm going to pick up some white. So I'll pick up a good blob of titanium white, and it's a lovely white because it's nice and it's a nice thick white, and it thickens the colour lovely. There are other whites there you can use, but they're not as rich as this. And now I'm going to pick up a tiny bit of phthalo blue, just a little, because it's a very, very, very strong blue, and it's a nice. It has a hint of a sort of, almost a hint of green in it. It's a lovely kind of a soft, natural blue, especially for painting oceans and that type of thing. Now I'm going to come down here, and I can see the sunlight popping through here again through the window, so it's making it a little difficult to see the canvas properly. So I'm going to put this blue across here, and I'm going to start off with this light blue. Now thicken this up with some white, because I want this nice and thick. I don't want it to be sort of streaky. And I'm going to put this just around the centre, and I'm looking at the photograph now, and I can see it's nice and, well, it's actually quite dark, isn't it? It's kind of almost black, but I'm not going to go that dark with this, guys. I want to make this a little brighter. Now I'm taking some phthalo blue with some black, okay? A little bit of each, and you can see now I've just kind of darkened it slightly there. You can go in with some very rich blues on this if you like, but I'm going to keep this kind of slightly on the soft, kind of earthy side, just slightly. I don't want to go too rich with this. So across here, this, and I want this reasonably dark so that the moon will show up lovely then on this afterwards. Okay, you understand? So dark against light, that's what I'm going for. Nice and dark. Come down nice and dark here now, and soften it into that light colour. I'm just using this brush for all of this, guys. Just left and right, nice long sweeping brush strokes right across left and right. And you can see now it's starting to become nice and dark already, isn't it? I'm going to go slightly darker because I can see on the photograph on my tablet here there's some nice bright clouds up overhead. So I'm going to take some black, right? So some nice black. And let me see now, I might put a touch of, let me think now, perhaps a touch of magenta, just a little touch, because I want to keep this warm. Believe it or not, you can have a warm black. I know a lot of people say, well, black is black, but you can have warm blacks and cold blacks. So this little bit of magenta now is just keeping this slightly warm. Slightly, you see? And of course the magenta then is mixing with the blue that's on the canvas and making even nicer colours again. So when painting skies like this, guys, always left and right, okay? Nice and straight, left and right. And let me just take a look at that. That is not bad. It is not bad. I'll take an extra bit of phthalo blue and put it into that mix and go along the top of that with some really dark, bluey kind of a black. And this will look lovely in the frame, I reckon. Nice bright cream frame on this. Will look really well. And I'll show you that at the end of the painting. When I finish the tutorial, I'll mount it in the frame and show you guys at the very end of this tutorial. So I think we'll just keep it simple, okay? Just for now, let's just do this. Nice and simple. And I'm now going to take my soft brush, my lovely soft powder brush, my €1.50 brush, guys. So we have to save money, don't we? Have to do what we can to save money. And let's soften this in here. Nice and gentle, left to right. That is not bad at all. So while this is wet now, I want to get the moon in. Alright? Because I'm working wet into wet, and that's what I love about these oils. So I've kept this light in the center because the moon is going in here. And I'm going to take a nice little flat brush to this. And now to make this really pop out, I'm going to add a touch of Naples yellow into this. Just a touch. So it's mostly white with a touch of Naples yellow. Because white might look a bit bland on this. I want the moon almost to have the sunlight kind of hitting the moon in the sky. Would that make sense? So I'm putting a touch of Naples yellow into it. Only a little. Now, nice thick paint on your brush. You see that? And I'm going to pick a point. So I reckon, now on the photograph, it is slightly to the left, isn't it? I think, because I want to put some waves in here later, and I might put even some trees, branches or something, or maybe even a boat. So I put a little sailboat off in the distance here, so I'm going to keep it slightly to the left, I suppose, like the photograph. So let's do this. Now, nice circle. See that? I'm just twisting the brush around. Holding it in one spot, twisting it around. And be cautious when doing this. Don't mix it too much because it will get lost in the paint behind. So just a simple stroke and then leave it. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to soften this around the edge. So there's almost like a halo around the moon. Does that make sense? So I'm going around this now with the same brush, very softly. And I'm softening that in. Now you can use our soft blender brush for this as well. We'll try the blender brush, look. And it's softening into the sky behind. You see? And then let's just soften it left and right, very, very gently. Just to take away some of the brush strokes. And we can go back into the moon then again with more paint, you see. So let's pick up more paint. I'm just cleaning my brush here first. And let's pick up a little bit more of the Naples yellow with the white, because it's nice and a nice warm moon up in the sky. And let's go back in. Like that. You see? I'm going to try and get this reasonably round. Like so. That's not bad, is it? We'll get away with that, guys. I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm just going to hit one side of this with some white. And there we are. A moon in the sky. Just like that. Now if you want to make it pop even more, you could add a touch of cadmium yellow with a touch of white. And let's try that and see. And that does really pop out a bit more, doesn't it? So I'm accentuating the moon being caught by the sun up in the sky as well. Does that make sense? There we are. And that's all right for now. Okay, clouds. Clouds, 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 clouds. I love painting clouds. I am going to take, let me see, I have a nice selection of brushes here. I'm going to take this little flat brush. And first of all, I can see on the clouds, now they're bright up around the top of the edges of the clouds, so I'm going to take a nice grey first. I'm going to take some black with some white. Make a nice grey out of that. A nice light grey now, guys. A nice light grey. And let's try and make them reasonably nice. So let's put a little bit of work into these clouds now, yes? So let's just try this. I'm going to just make up my own clouds now as I go. I'll put a little bit of grey just down here. And remember, because they're so far off in the distance, they're literally just horizontal from left to right. Almost just straight, wiggly little lines, okay? Because they're so far away. And there we go, a couple along here. And I might even cut one or two, pardon me, I might cut one or two clouds through the moon. Let's just put one across here, gently like that. You see? So already the moon is being pushed way back off into the distance, isn't it? And I'm going to take a slightly darker shade now and darken this just here on that side. And I'm going to put a couple all along the end of the horizon here, because there's just a couple of clouds sort of floating across off in the distance. And these things now are miles and miles away, guys, alright? I'm not going to put big clouds up in this sky here because I want to keep it nice and simple, and I don't want to go into too much detail with all of this. Sometimes you can kind of overdo it, especially with skies. It's very easy to overdo a sky, I find. It's difficult to know when to stop, if that makes sense. You can kind of continue putting in little highlights here and little highlights there, and then realize it's ruined. So I prefer less is more kind of a motto, especially with the sky. Now I'm just going to darken the bottom of these clouds here, because of course the moon is coming down and is hitting the top of the clouds. So I'm just darkening the bottom half of the cloud. Hope you can follow that. And let's just darken one or two along here. And the technique really for painting clouds, guys, is just to be nice and subtle with your brush. Just little hints of colour just here and there. Let's see, I might just stick one. I might put a couple more even just across the bottom. There. And of course when we peel this masking tape off, then we're going to have a nice clean line, a nice clean horizon line. Okay? Let's see, let's go across there with that. Coming on now, isn't it? And I'm going to put a couple. I might put one just up here. Just one, just to show you how to catch the light on a cloud with the moon. So I'm just going to put one here, and just wiggling the brush around here and there, messing about, and I'm going to soften it into the dark. I might put some dark shadow on this as well. In fact I will. I'll put some dark shadow on this. Let's take some blue and some black and work a bit of shadow into that. So you can see I'm being very loose and very kind of free with this style. I'm not being too cautious, really. Go. So I'm going to leave that now. That's the dark done. I'm going to soften those very gently with my soft brush. There we are. And then I'm going to take this other flat one that we used for the moon, and I'm going to give that a quick clean now, and I'm going to go into some white. In fact, I might take a touch of yellow in the white, so a very small touch of cadmium yellow with the white, and that will give the cloud real it'll really pop out and give it some real vibrant highlights. So I'm just thinking now, you see, because the moon is here, it's going to be catching the left hand side of the clouds here, okay? Just the left hand side, and it's going to be just the top. So I'm just going to go along here and there and suggest the light catching the tops of the clouds. Does that make sense? Now I might add a touch more yellow into this. And again, be very careful using yellow against blue, because it'll turn green, won't it? So I'm only using the tiniest little amount of yellow in the white, and it just gives it that extra little bit of vibrancy, that's all. There we are, that's one there. And then I'm cleaning my brush again to take off the dirty colour. I'm going to go back in. And now this one here, let's show you how to do a nice bright cloud. Just little circles, look. There we are. And then coming down at a slight angle. Then clean the brush again. Go back into the white. Let's take a touch of Naples yellow actually. And then the next one is going to go in front of that one, you see. So already we have 2 layers of clouds. And we do it again. And then we have an extra layer of cloud. And just softening these colours together then with this brush. You can use a soft brush if you like, but for this one I'm just going to use this brush just to leave a little bit of texture on the cloud. And wasn't that so easy there now? It really was so easy to do. It's just practice, guys, just practice, that's all it is. Practice on a little bit of canvas pad or something. Practice just doing clouds on their own, nothing else, just a couple of clouds. That's how I kind of taught myself. Just practicing on scraps of canvas and paper and all sorts of things. And you could just practice doing a tree on its own. Or as I said, just doing clouds on their own, nothing else. And it really does make a difference to your painting. And yeah, it's not too bad. Let's soften some of those in here now at the bottom, because of course I'm keeping in mind that these are all very far away, so I don't want too much texture on the distant ones, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And guys, if you would like to support me in this, to help me get these tutorials off of the ground, and let's get some proper subscribers in this and get some decent, good tutorials up online, you can support me. I'm on Patreon. So if you could just donate anything or pledge anything at all, it could be just $1, everything helps. Because as you know, being artists yourselves, it does get quite expensive buying materials and paints and all these type of things. It does get expensive. So I would be very, very grateful if you could support me in any way at all. I really do appreciate it, guys. Now let's get some, what I'm doing here is, actually I'm just going to get some white. And I'm going to put some extra little highlights now just on the clouds. So I'm putting a good bit of work into these clouds for you today. And I'm going to take a touch of cadmium yellow and a touch of Naples yellow, and then plenty of white. And watch now, guys, how these clouds really start to pop. I'm going to put a little highlight just around the back, just here and there, because you see the way, even on the photograph, you can see how the highlights almost go all the way around the cloud, don't they? So let's just put a little hint of it just here and there. We can soften these as well with the soft blender in a minute. Okay, clean the brush and go back in again. And it's a nice simple tutorial. It's just to show you a very basic moonlit kind of an ocean scene. That's all really. It's just to give you kind of little hints and tips how to make it nice and simple and not to go into too much detail with it. There we go. And we're almost done with the sky. Realistically, we don't need to go to too much trouble with it. Yeah, so we'll just soften this down just at the bottom here. Make these nice and soft. That's it. So there we go, guys. A nice simple sky. Now I'm going to take off the masking tape. I do apologize now for moving this canvas just for a second. Let me get this masking tape off for you and position the canvas where it was. There we go. Now, nice clean line. And that's lovely, isn't it? So the ocean now is just basically the same principle as the sky, and I'm going to use a smaller brush. Now I'm just going to use this for the very beginning, just to get a nice clean line across here, and then I'll switch to the big green one. So let's dip into the turpentine, and let's take some. Now I want to keep this slightly lighter, just at the horizon, just to break the horizon. Alright, so I'm taking some white and then going into that kind of sky colour that we had mixed earlier. In fact, I'll take a little bit of phthalo blue, and let's just test this now. Let's just check it first, just to make sure we are reasonably happy with the colour. That colour's not bad there. I think I'll go with that. So I'm just going to lean down hard and pull right across. And remember, it's always easier to get a straight line when you push down hard on your brush, rather than using the tip like this. Just push down, use the full width of your brush, right across. You see? It's that easy, guys. And let's go again. There we go. And then I'm going to start darkening this now as I go. So, because I want this nice and dark as well for the moon to really shine against it. Understand? But I'm going to leave it light just in the center here, just a little bit. So let's just go right along here now. I'm going to darken this side as well. I notice these oils are kind of quite wet at the moment. They are kind of, but I'm going to thicken these as I go. Now I'm going to start thickening it. I'm taking more phthalo blue, more white, and in fact I'm going to try a little bit of cobalt blue as well. And I'll take a little bit of black into that. So we have this kind of a rich blue here. Now let's take a touch more black, a touch more cobalt. Nice and dark now down at the front, right? So this is right in front of us here now. Nice and dark here. across now with this colour. And I'm in the process of painting a scene at the moment. It's a local area here in Cork, down in Blackpool, and it's of a church, and it's a lovely spot in the city. And I've kind of started the painting last night. I was thinking about maybe hooking up the camera and showing you a little bit about that. It's kind of a street scene more than anything else. But I was saying maybe you might like to see some of that for a change, rather than doing landscapes all of the time. It's a nice kind of a church in a local street here in Cork. Everybody knows it, Blackpool Church. And I was thinking about just showing you a little bit on that, perhaps. Let me know what you think. So, it's a lovely painting about perspective and buildings. And about, I suppose, getting some atmosphere in the painting as well. I've only just started last night, so let me know if you'd like to see some of that, and I can put some of that up for you. Okay, let me see. It's still quite bright, isn't it? I'm going to darken it slightly. Let's get some black and some phthalo blue again. And I might take a touch of burnt umber, look. Let's take some burnt umber into this. Let's start introducing another colour to make it nice and warm. And I want this nice and dark because I'm putting highlights on this. I'm going to put some brighter colours through this in a minute. There we are, that's a bit richer, isn't it? Let's take some of that black and some of the blue. Touch the burnt umber. There we go. I'd be happy enough with that. We'll stick with that. So I'm going to now, I'm going to put in the highlights of the ocean here. Actually, you know what I'll do first is I'll put a little wave crashing just along here, and then we'll work on some nice little highlights on the waves. Is that fair enough? Let's do that. So I'm moving now to this brush again, and just let me put some white out here for you guys. Some white, and give the brush a good clean. And what I'm going to do is I am going to just take some phthalo blue with some black. Just phthalo blue and black now on a dry brush. Nice thick dark paint. And I'm just going to come along here and create a wave. Now I'm thinking, should I go at a slight angle? If I go straight, it might look too forced. So I think to make it look more natural, I might go at a slight angle. All I'm doing is I'm flicking this down like this. You see? And it's getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Come across here then. And it's fantastic that these are mixing to the colours underneath, because it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter, you see? And I'm going to darken this one just here, and I'm going to pull it horizontal then. You see? Right out. And that's a lovely kind of a wave starting to curl over, if you know what I mean. It's just starting to curl over. I'm going to get some lovely foam on this as well in a minute. Now with the same brush, look, pull that colour out. You see? And you're creating different textures on the water just with this brush. So it's moving the paint around on the canvas. It's not putting paint on the canvas, it's moving it around. You see? And then let's take some black, rich black, and go right in here. because I want this white foam to really stand out just over this section here. A little bit there perhaps. A little bit there. And every now and again, let's just stand back and take a good look at the painting. I'm going to go in with another one. So you see how simple this is now. I'm keeping it simple. I might go with one, maybe just along here, a small one off in the distance. You see? And this one now, guys, can be more horizontal, okay? Just nice and straight. I've a little bit of an angle on it, just say. A tiny bit of an angle. And I'm doing this very lightly and very gently now with this brush. I'm just hardly touching the canvas. And that's another nice wave. And then look, we soften it in them with the brush again. A couple of little wiggles here and there. And it's just about creating texture on the canvas again. And we're trying to give the ocean a little bit of movement here with this. So let's take some more of that black colour and let's come down here now and just give it some movement. You see? All I'm doing is wiggling the brush left and right. And it does work, it really does. It's simple, but it works. Next time I'm going to get some nice light colour in here. I'm going to use a mixture of cobalt blue and some white. And cobalt blue with white will really be a nice contrast against these dark colours. So that's what I'm going to do next, guys. I'm going to clean this brush out, just give it a quick clean and dry it. And I'm going to, and I like using this brush now because it has a nice flat edge to it, you see? Nice and flat. And it's perfect for this kind of thing. So I'm going to take some white and I'm going to take some cobalt blue for a change, not phthalo blue. I use cobalt and I want to get some nice bright lights on the water. Okay, let's try it. Now we'll just try it and see how we go. We can change it if we need to. A little bit bright. Let's take some more blue. More cobalt blue. That's a bit better. And look, I'm just creating some movement on the water with this. I'm basically just wiggling the brush. That's all I'm doing. And it's even mixing with the dark underneath, that's fine. That's exactly what we want. And that gives it all these different colours and tones and values, which is excellent. And that's why I love oil painting. So I just cleaned my brush and I'm going back into that colour. I might actually take a touch of magenta. I think I'll try a touch of magenta, that might be nice. And let's warm these slightly, a little bit more. And let's give it a go, why not? Let's get some hints of pink in here. And let's go over here and get some little small ones just here and there. I don't want to go too crazy with this because I want to focus the light in the center because that's where the moon is. So I don't want to overpower the painting with these kind of highlights. If that makes sense. I'm keeping all the light sort of in the center and I'm just putting some very pale lights just here and there, you see? It's coming together. And this is a nice simple scene. You really enjoy kind of painting these types of scenes because they're just so easy. and they're so enjoyable. Now let's just take a little bit of pink and a touch of Naples yellow. And I'm just going to give this some nice warmth just along here. And that's nice just there. You see? Next guys, let's just move on to the top of this crest of the wave here. And I'm going to take a pointy brush now for this, and we're going to get some really nice contrasts on this. So I'm going to go into, I'm going to start now with a medium value. I'm going to take some cobalt blue with a little white. I'm just going to start off with this kind of value in the middle, okay? So I'm just going to put a few little wiggles just down here and there. You see? I'm just giving this wave a little movement, that's all I'm trying to do. Okay, just like this, just here and there. And I could even taper off over here like that and disappear into that water. Let's soften that. There we go. Now, so back into that again. And I'm just adding little details into this now, that's all I'm doing. I'm going to go along with this wave at the back. And I'm holding the brush now very loosely for this. I'm just going to hit the top of that wave. Just here and there, see? Being very, very loose, very free with this. That's quite nice. And all the time I'm doing this now, I am just thinking to myself, keep it simple, keep it simple. Nothing too complicated. And I'm going to go along now the top of this one here and really get some bright lights. So I'm going to take some white for this, and I'm going to take a touch of cadmium yellow. So I want this now very, very, very bright. Okay, so let's go along here and just a couple of little wiggles and a couple of dabs here and there. It's sort of hit and miss, if you will. And I'm just kind of creating the crest of the top of the wave. Now I'll put some shadows in here as well in a minute. There we go. You see, isn't that looking quite nice? And then, what we could do, to give this even more life, let's take a fan brush and let's go into that colour. Some white, a touch of Naples yellow possibly, and let's just give it a little bit of texture. You see? And I'm going to go up now under this for some darks as well in a minute. Okay, I'm going to switch to my knife, and I'm going to just put one or two off in the distance here. Just here and there. Now I want to bring the reflection from the moon down onto this ocean. So I'm just going to take some of that white with a bit of yellow. And in fact, let me just get some more here because my palette is getting quite dirty. So let me just get a nice spot here. And I'm just going to put a touch of that in here and there. And let's just put that in. And along the top of the wave. Now I might have overdone this here. I'm going to fix that in a minute because I'm not happy with that at all. So I'm going to go over that there now very soon. I just don't like the way it turned out. And I think you will probably agree. I think I may have overkilled it. Is that what they say? Overkill. So let's take a look at that and see what we can do. So what I'll do first is I will just scrape some of this white off with the brush. Let's just scrape it off, and then I'll take some more dark colour and just put a bit of dark colour over that and just soften it back in. Okay. And we can just redevelop this then again as we need. Isn't that nice and simple? Nice simple fix. Now, and let's just go along the top of that, and let's just redefine the top of that wave. And then what I'm going to do is take some real dark colour, some black even, maybe a touch of brown, and I'm going to go in under that and create the shape of that wave. You see? I think that's a little better, isn't it? And a little shadow just under here. And I'll put a little shadow just along here. Just here and there now. I'm not going crazy with this again. Nice and simple. And we could even take some phthalo blue with some black again, and let's just go in even here and there on these little ripples in the front. And just to give them a bit more depth, I think. So guys, it's a nice simple scene, isn't it? It's something that you can really sort of have a bit of fun and really get some good practice in. Just remember, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. You have to have a bit of fun when you're painting, and you have to enjoy it as well. I'm constantly saying it, but I just couldn't imagine myself painting a picture and just not enjoying it. I just can't imagine that, because I enjoy every single painting I do. I get great satisfaction from it. It makes me feel good. That's why I paint. So I just love painting. And if you find, say, halfway through the painting that's just not working and you're getting frustrated and you just can't seem to get a rhythm going, you're better off just to stop it, go and have a coffee. Just go and have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or something and come back to it then with a fresh mind. I find that's the best way to do it. Okay. So it's looking good. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take my soft brush and I might just soften some of the highlights in, just a few here and there. Particularly just by the wave. There we go. A couple off in the distance here. And next then, guys, we're going to put in a nice little, I think a nice little sailboat. Might look quite nice off in the distance. A nice little silhouette of a sailboat. I think would look, bring some more interest into the painting. What do you think? Let's put a nice dark sailboat in just up there. I might just take a little bit of black and a bit of brown. And then we can put a nice highlight on this as well when it's finished. So let's bring it, say, around here. And again, I'm just keeping it simple. Okay, very, very simple sailboat off in the distance. We could even do a few of them. So I think, guys, I might add another wave just here. Another dark wave, just to break this up a little bit. It doesn't look quite right. So I'm just going to take some Taylor Blue or black. Let me just click on my microphone. That'd be handy, wouldn't it? Now, okay, so let's take another little wave just here. And that should help just break it up a little. And nice dark colour now, some black here. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? Right, there we go. And then let's go along the top of that with some white and a touch of Naples yellow. And let's just put a little couple of dabs just here. Just here and there. And a touch of Naples yellow. Just along there. Now, see, you can keep building on this as you go. You can add little bits here and there if you wish. I'm just going to keep it simple. Just for this tutorial. And what I might do now is put some, maybe some rushes and some reeds coming up here. Just to sort of fill the sides of the painting just here, yes? Let's try it anyhow. In fact, what I might do, I'll just thought of something there now. Sorry now, guys. I'm just going to take a bit of blue and a little touch of magenta and a bit of white. And I'm just going to put a little bit of light just in here, showing through the wave, okay? And again, you can't see the colour very well on that camera because that camera is not great, I'll be honest. But I can see it here. Now, let's take some burnt umber. So we're going to warm this up now slightly. So plenty of watery burnt umber. And I'm just going to bring it up now on the left and right hand sides. So look. Some nice little grasses coming into the painting. It's just a case of just flicking it up. Plenty of turpentine in this now, just make this runny, nice and runny, okay? And we can have some dark ones and some light ones, and we could have even a touch of blue in some of them as well. Isn't that nice? And that just kind of fills up those corners a little, and it really kind of draws your eye into the center of the painting as well. And you can do this when the painting is dry as well. They'll take a lot better then. And on that, I'm going to put a little suggestion of, you see, some of these little leafy kind of things that you see, you know, those ones? I forget what they're called now, but just kind of here and there. You get them done by the ocean. It's just suggesting, that's all. And then we could even put in some lighter ones, if you wish, to contrast the dark water behind. You see? So it's all just about contrasting colours. Very simple, just dabbing the brush, that's all. So let's do the same on the other side. Let's take plenty of burnt umber, plenty of black, nice and watery, and we'll just put a few in here now, guys, just a few. I'm not going to overkill this side, I'm not going to overdo this side. Just a couple here and there. And I hope you can see that now with the light on the canvas from the window. I hope it's showing all right. And then let's get some light ones. Let's take some cobalt blue and let's take some white and let's thin that out just slightly. And let's get some light ones in there. We could even take some Naples yellow as well. And let's get a couple of light ones on the other side. And again, you take some of these little leafy kind of things, just there and there. See? Lovely. And I'm only suggesting them, that's all. It's more, I suppose, little dabs of colour rather than anything else. And it just brings more interest into the painting. So you see, it's that simple, guys. And with that, I'm going to sign the painting. Actually, what I might do there is put 1 or 2 birds in, just up on the sky here. I love painting in birds because they bring fantastic life to a painting. They really do. And put a little highlight on those. And let's sign. Let's go down here and sign it. S. Conway. And that's it. So let me take off the camera here now and have a proper look at this. That's not bad. A lovely simple moonlight scene. And I can see from looking at that already that the sunlight on the ocean there is going slightly left. So I'm going to just bring it over a bit more on this side. There we are, centered. And that's it. One simple painting. So I hope you liked it. Give me a like. Don't forget to share all these pages. Let's try and get as many subscribers as we can. Thank you very, very much for watching. And if you would like to support me again, Patreon, anything at all will help. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again soon. Happy painting.